You guys thought the day was over. You guys thought the day was over. This is after hours. We're not done. Let's do prompt 3 now. Do the first pass. Remember that when you do the examples section, you should be carrying over the existing examples and also accounting for any of the examples that might need to spawn new root branches at prompt 2. Make sure you maintain the same structure across prompt 3 that we used in prompt 2. If any of those title sections don't fit, you can omit them and just stick to the initial ones that I told you need to be present across all prompts. Go ahead and implement that now. Am I jacked yet? Not. You know what that means? Newton bomb. What's that, 250 on the day? 200? I don't even know. But I do know that we are at 2,500 push-ups. I do know that. You know what? Let's just, for archive's sake, let's just clock the physique right now. Let's see where we're at, where we need to go. Strictly for documentation purposes. This lighting is fucking horrible. My back. Can't see. My shoulder hurts. Hold on. This lighting is atrocious. Hold on. Help? A little better. That's where we're at. My shirt backwards. Of course. 50-50. I got lucky. Just kidding, I am lucky. I'm the luckiest guy alive. Okay, let's see. So we are now moving from analyzing the input pack and attempting to parse, essentially. And we are now extracting being data, states of being. So Okay, so you have at the top of prompt 3 section where you said map human state signals into North Star. That will not make any sense in the context of the app. It has no idea what the North Star is. Obviously, we know what that means right now because we're building in reference to the North Star, but we need to avoid that type of language when drafting these prompts because North Star means nothing inside of the app. You need to use more generic language that will still convey all the relevant information. So let's do a passive prompt right now to remove any of that language. North Star reference being one of them. If there's any other sort of similar thing that's referencing like plan file names or whatever that aren't going to make sense in the app, change the wording so it's a more generic thing. And then I also need you to make sure, we'll just leave it at that for now. Why would it be asking for permission? It's weird. I am making, what's her name? Can you see? XLLL TV. I am making what I would say is the future of how humans and LLMs will interact on a day-to-day basis. Essentially, what I'm building is a life operating system, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So, I have a meeting with XLTV today. It should be around 3. So, the first core layer is the ability to build schedules via natural language in a way that is very different than how scheduling apps work now because they're not very good. They're slow to use and they also don't match like how humans actually operate in day-to-day life. So here what this has done is picked up an inference in time because I didn't say 3 p.m. or a.m. so it doesn't know, so I could swap if I got it wrong. And it's also looking for how long our meeting is going to be before it can actually draw it into our schedule, so I can just tell it. It should be about 30 minutes. So this is the first layer, essentially the ability to build schedules in a more seamless way. There's more that goes into it than what I'm explaining, but this is like the main idea. And then what the app is really actually about is the ability to capture context on top of these scheduling instances. So for example, how tired you are, your energy level, like say when you went to the gym, or your mood when you actually executed things versus when you plan to do them. So we collect context around these things in a nice structured way. So the LLM can go back and parse over this data and essentially figure out where your life can be optimized. And it'll learn about you over time. It'll start recommending different outputs for you to try to help make your life better. So it's like a coach, essentially. And then what we have on top of that is this thing called toolkits. So it's basically like a domain specific plugin that adds extra context in that area of life. So, for example, a fitness toolkit would give you access to things like building templates for workouts, tracking your workouts, meal plans, animations for the exercises to make sure you're doing them properly. And that all integrates right within your schedule. And that extra context feeds into the system and essentially helps further optimize your coaching with respect to those different domains of life. So, yeah, we're building the fucking future. That's what we're building. My computer's freezing. Okay, we're good. Let's chat slowing down. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. The more it learns about you, the more effective it becomes. But even just at a surface level, if you don't use it a lot, it's still just a way better scheduler than anything that exists on the market because of the way the scheduling engine works and the ability to just communicate in natural language. So yeah, that's the idea. What I'm working on right now is a lot of planning in the data structure. I'm kind of reworking what we have, so not a lot of building is going on right now. I'll be getting back to that in the next as soon as possible, but yeah, if you tune in the future, I see you just followed, so thanks for that. If you tune back in the future, you'll see me actually implementing this, testing it more, working closer to a shippable product. And yeah, every day we're making progress. This is the second stream of the day. We're doing a little bit of after hours work. We're probably at about, I don't know, 10 hours of work already today or something like that. We do this every day, and we're not going to stop until it is done. Is this frozen? Like, something is, uh, something is struggling right now. Cursor. It's still going. So yeah, let me just let it do its thing. I think this chat's context is getting bloated. It's like really slowing down. Let me try to get into another chat maybe after this prompt finishes. Pick up the speed. What about you? Do you do any sort of this type of stuff? Oh man, this cursor chat is going. Oh, it's chat. I see what it's doing. That's why it's taking so long. It's actually quite a big prompt, I guess. This is gonna take a minute. What is it? What is it actually changing right now in these examples? I'll go look after. Yeah, I know. That's good. Yeah, could be a good idea if you provide some sort of value. If it does something better than what Ticketmaster does, or if it, you capture a niche market, you can do well. That's good. A website like that shouldn't be too hard, I don't think, to implement. It's pretty much a UI, little bit of data structure, and payment processing. That's basically what it is. But I mean, maybe, I mean, how do you actually get the tickets on the website? Is it like people choose to post their tickets on there as like a resale kind of thing? Or how do you, like, are you supposed to be getting tickets from the actual vendors, like whoever's putting the concert on or whatever, and they sell the tickets on your thing? I don't know why this is like it really should not have taken this long. This has got to be a context float issue. Am I like I'm confused. Something very weird just happened in the first part of this prompt processing. Like, am I in the wrong? Oh, I'm gonna make sure I'm in the right chat even here. Something is not making sense. I have to let it finish though before I can actually do anything. It'll just make it worse if I try to do something now. Okay. So it's not this. Let's close this. I think I was in the right chat. It just ran like extremely slow. Okay, it did what I wanted, but it should not have taken that long. Let me just check my usage and make sure it's not on auto. We should have plenty of room still. Yeah, we're good. It seemed like it take it seemed like it took abnormally long for you to execute on that last prompt. Are we struggling with some context float right now? Should I move over to another chat, or is there any particular reason why that last round of processing took so long? Okay. Okay, can you give me a prompt to carry over in the next chat? Basically let them know that we've done, like let them know everything we've done in this chat, that we basically did the structural design of this file. We're only working inside of this file with respect to the North Star file. That's essentially where we're building context in adjacents to. Let them know that we're working on prompt 3 right now, and we've done one first pass and we're about to start editing. Also, make sure that it's clear that we are working from like a root type of example tree that we establish in prompt 2, and that there's essentially flags that we're looking for along the way, and we need to make sure that we're hitting those flags and developing new cases, and then going back to prompt 2 and establishing the root for those cases along the way. Basically, we just need to make sure that we're keeping track of what we're actually doing when we go over to the next chat. or how well this will paste over. Should be fun. We don't need to click build on this. Let's just start doing it, and I'll give you instructions verbally. Just let me know that you're ready to go and you've done everything that I told you to so far. Make sure you have the context from the entirety of the LLM prompts plan file, because there are going to be things outside of prompt section 3 that are important in actually building prompt section 3. So just make sure you understand all the context across both the North Star and the prompts plan file. Okay, good. Let's go through prompt 3. Yeah, let me sit. It's better for reading. My eyes are so dry. So the goal of this prompt is basically to take what happened here and extract these states of being. Okay. Okay, so immediately one thing I'm knowing inside of the system prompt in prompt number 3, in the very first section for your role in this step, it's referencing things like mind, body, and soul entry. Like it's essentially breaking down the structure of states of being, but this has actually not been defined anywhere, I don't believe. Actually, I'm scrolling down now, and it says how to write each output field. Um, I guess this is giving some sort of detailing of it, but what I'm thinking is we need a very explicit explanation of what goes into the structure in states of being for each of the branches. Like, it's not possible if the LLM can function with prompt 3 if it doesn't understand the surrounding context. So, for example, if you look back in prompt 2, we did the same sort of thing. So I'm just scrolling up here in prompt 2 so I can pull up exactly what I'm talking about and give you a direct reference. 1 second. Still looking, hold on. So I think it's under how to read each input, maybe is where these details lived in prompt 2. Let me just make sure that we don't have this section right now in prompt 3. Let me scroll back down. So yeah, we have how to write each output field, but we don't have a how to read the input, right? So there's definitely a missing section here where we need to very carefully define essentially what's going on inside of the state of being structure, or else it won't be able to extract to it properly. So I want you to look in the North Star and figure out exactly what in the North Star, like what context from there would need to be a part of this prompt in order for this prompt to do its job correctly. Like what type of context from the North Star we actually need, and I need you to put it inside of the system prompt. And yeah, probably the section that would go under is the one that I said regarding like how to read the input. Um, Something like that. I mean, the input is coming from prompt 2 though, essentially, so maybe it's more about the output target that it needs to understand. So I am looking in the output you must produce section now, and yeah, either way, we just need to make sure that this type of structure is fully explained and documented so the LLM has that context. And then, yeah, there should also definitely be an input like read section where it explains what's being received from. Actually, you know what? You don't need that because it's all a part of one chat. And since it's already explained in prompt 2, it would already have access to all that context and all that it means. So really what we need to make sure is the LLM understands the output target for states of being. That's really what we need to hammer down here. So I'm not exactly sure where that should live, probably in the output you must produce section. And I see there is some sort of breakdown of this, but I just want to make sure without going through it by eye right now that we have very carefully gone through this and everything from the North Star that would need to be here to support functionality is here. Do that pass right now, and once you do, then I'll go and read through all of this. Oh shit, we're XP wasting. Oh no. Look at this. Spawn in right on a dying crab. Perfect timing. Get a nice fresh 10-minute reset. Perfect. Optimal. Never punished. Caught up. Let's shoot this crab. Let's max everything. 3 accounts maxed. Let's give this a second. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to read all this here. I just want to make sure that I understood what I said. Okay, let me start. Is this? I think we're on comp 2 here. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. So if being gets, yeah, being should always be written first because then we established a link to the deliverable of the input capture row after, so this order makes sense. Just one thing to check in on here before I go and read this. I think it does make sense to have the states of being get added to the input capture row first because the way the links get established to the deliverables in the input capture row, meaning like linking a state of being to a schedule instance, for example, the state of being would first need to be known. So I believe this order is correct. Like we wouldn't do the schedule writing first. We would do this, and then after when the schedule part gets handled in a later part, that's when the intro row link would be established. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So why are we getting it to read anything other than literally downstream link hints? Sorry, like the output area. So why are we getting it to target to read things other than the likely output area being like having being inside of it? Shouldn't that literally be the only criteria here? Like literally anything from the pack that got assigned likely output area to being, um, wouldn't that just account for everything, right? Because like anytime there would be a same row being link, there would have to be a being in the likely output area, and then also a part of the likely output area in that case would be like a schedule execution or whatever. Is that the correct understanding? Like, don't we just need it essentially to sweep from prompt number 2 and just pick out the places where the likely output area had being? So it's not that this is wrong, it's just going to be slow. And if it's unnecessary, there's no reason to slow it down. Let me just look at something quick. So I need to just see one where it has in the output, the output area being, yeah, like here, for example, it would pick this one up, and then it would look at resolution channels like later, right? Because the link doesn't happen till later. Like, you don't need to look at anything else right now, right? And in the case where it's like a being plus something else, that there would be two entries for, like, let me see if I can find one. I need one with being and something else. Okay, it's so hard to find one of these. Yeah. It must be higher up in the examples. Being still. Here, right here. This is what I mean. So this is example. Yeah, so let's make that change if we're in agreement. So I think the only flag essentially that prompt 3 needs to search for is being as a field entry inside of likely output area, and then those are essentially the rows from the baseline pack that need to be addressed in terms of transferring data to the input capture row for this utterance. Does that make sense? If so, go ahead and implement those changes across all of prompt 3. Make sure there's no stale context. Make sure that all the examples are non-contradictory to this change if it is an accepted change. And yeah, do a full sweep of prompt 3 to make sure that's accounted for and documented clearly in the examples and in the surrounding context if necessary. Yes, that's right. Okay. Okay. Where is prompt three? Why can't I find it? You know, let's be smart about this. I'm surfing the chat. Yeah, good. The song is mental. Hold on. Holy fuck. Okay, let's keep going. All my friends are dead. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Holy fuck. I just want to check something quick. So, we got a prompt two. I just need to see the shape. So, yeah, context read dot input segments dot likely output area. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Perfect. Good. We have a happy part to this song. The happy outro. I need to do this again. Holy fuck. So what do we actually need to read here? Can I open a second copy of this? Oh, it's gonna be really slow to scroll up and down. Holy shit. Okay. This is the most beautiful thing I have ever made. Seriously. What is this only? I'm looking in the canonical tree right now. And I see this little thing called only. Oh, I see. It's just continuation of the text that says human epistemic stance, labels from closed list only. I see. So there's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight states of mind, four states of body, and then state of soul. I noticed that you're giving like these little arrows next to some of the branches, but not all of them. I'm curious why that is. Shouldn't we just leave the canonical tree as just a canonical tree with no extra notes, and then essentially we should be breaking down each of these branches, like state of mind, state of body, and state of soul separately in a separate section, and then also breaking down like the values that are allowed inside of each of the sub branches for each of the state of mind, state of body, state of soul branches, like basically giving the full instructions as to what's allowed inside of these as per the North Star and how to actually write to the input capture in order to fill out these states of being. I haven't scrolled down further, but um, if we haven't done that, we definitely need to. Okay, here we go. What? Let's make it so verbatim is not omitted. We should make that as one of the values in the enum for parser confidence. Make that change in prompt 3. Also attach to the context section in the LLM prompts plan file for when we do the merge, so that's correctly accounted for in the North Star if what it says now is contradictory to that, basically being the omit when grounding is verbatim. I don't want it to do that. I want to see when the parser confidence is actually verbatim, and I want that to be persisted in the data. We are vibe coding. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Like, trust me. Trust me, daddy. Let's pot up, why not? We're rich. How am I ever going to teach this to somebody else without, like, extremely carefully crafted documentation? Like, it would be, like, for someone else to really understand this, it would take a lot of work. Maybe, you know what? Nobody else needs to understand it, man. As long as my robots understand it, we're good to go. Literally. This also is not optional. Oh, wait. That's correct. Sure. Let's see what it does. Try it. I need to feel love now. Feel love now. My, this shit is mental. Oh my god. One thing that we need to make very clear here is that per state of being, it's essentially a different entry in the array of state of beings. Like it's never multiple states of being in like per array, you know what I mean? So um I'm sure you understand what I'm saying based on the context in the North Star, but I need to make sure that the prompt clearly details this as well. I've only read up until the rules section so far, and I haven't seen a very explicit detailing of that yet. It might exist later, but I just want to make sure that before I keep reading and forget about it, that this is accounted for. Oh my god, my eye. Weak. A sacrifice must be made. Good. Good. My shoulder is fucking wrenched. Eat that. Label tiers, so. Suffix required. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's right. This is fucking brilliant, is what it is. Truly. Truly, truly. What up, then? Trump support claim. uh, it's baked into the prompt. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I think somebody put Molly in my water this morning. Yeah. This is actually like incredible. I just don't know how fast it's gonna run. It's gonna work, but I don't know how fast it's gonna run. Attention, attention, attention. This is fucking amazing. This is fucking. It's coming. It's coming. Okay, the sections from canonical tree to entry records through rules and then into label tiers and then, breaking down state of mind, state of body, state of soul. Honestly, this is incredible work. It feels like the system is really coming together and it feels like it's actually going to work. Um, you've already done a very good job of expressing when each of these sub branches should be written to and when they shouldn't be. Um, and it's in a great place. What I want you to do is one more pass of the North Star, as well as these sections here, and make sure that we are clearly outlining all the different types of edge cases that we thought about previously in the North Star and where we would write to different subsections versus not writing to others. I'm sure I haven't gotten to the example section yet, which is below this, but I'm sure that's doing a good job of further expanding on this. But before we keep going, I just want to say this is in a great spot, but I do want to do one more pass and just make sure we really have it hammered in. Oh my God. I think to keep costs down, we basically, like, because this is written so well, a really simple model will do a good job at this. Like GPT like 3 or some shit will be able to do this. Oh, my shoulder. Okay, so I'm looking at the tables now, and I'm in A, and I'm noticing on the, what is it, the third entry here, where it's the gym at 5, block deep work at 9. For some reason, in the second and third entries, like the do not write to, and then the write instead, it just says being in schedule, which is like a lazy version of what you did a lot better in the first and second examples, where you had like state of action dot schedule, and then explicitly said this is a later step, and then any being subkey. So make sure we have that level of detail across all the examples here in these tables. And then I'm looking here at the one where it says legacy item type goal. I'm not sure what you're referring to here. I have no idea what this is referring to. If you're talking about something in the code base that's outside of the North Star, you don't need to worry about that. Like we're not doing anything from the legacy structure. So just explain to me what's going on here with this legacy thing. And then yeah, the next one where it has the cross-roll link target selection. And you're again just being a little bit lazy by saying just being. It should be the same like any being subkey or whatever. Um, so yeah, just make those changes to A. Good. Yeah, let's make the same type of changes to the rest of the tables, B through I. Let's make sure it has the same level of rigorousness and it's not making any of the same mistakes that we just fixed in A. Go ahead and make those, and then I'll continue on with reading B, but A looks good now. How are the stats looking? Are we maxed yet? I need Blood Moon bad. I need Blood Moon really bad. Oh my fucking god. Bait, 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 base, base. Holy fuck. I count money every day. Drop that base and hide away. I count money every day. This shit's gonna work, by the way. This is officially the day where I know it's gonna work. The only question is how fast and efficiently it's gonna work when it processes inputs, but it's gonna work. And it's gonna work very well. And this is revolutionary, by the way. By the way. So this was for this is mind, body, or soul, and now this is breaking down within mind. Okay. So this is filtering like which state of being, and this is now filtering within each state of being. Okay. Vibe coding, by the way. How do I make this shit stay here? I like fucking the band. So this is our state of mind, okay? So let's you go to emotional. Okay. I like that. split between identity and feeling. Careful semantic extraction. Like, you know what the thing is? Like, can I ever sell this like as an exit? Because like the amount of power you have if you collect this type of data on a mass population is like this takes targeted ads like to the next level. Like this turns the idea of targeted ads into like targeted like human population manipulation. Like if you had access to this data set and people use this, like you could literally do a lot of shit. Because it's basically keeping a record of everything about whoever uses this. And the reason I'm saying can I ever sell this is like, can I ever trust anyone to not make this an exploitive type of thing other than myself? Because I know I wouldn't do that. Like, how can I trust like data privacy if I were to exit in this company and sell it? You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm yapping. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this would get no right. Yep. Okay, I'm looking through table C right now and it looks mostly good. The one thing I'm noticing, I just want to be careful that we're not including examples that don't pertain to this section. Like, let me just find one here. Hold on. Hold on, I'm still looking. I'm having trouble to find it now. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm looking and I can't seem to find it, but there were definitely an example or two where there was no mention of state of mind at all in the example. And I think we should make it so that whatever is in these subtables is explicitly, mentioning at least what that subtable is talking about. So like if this is dealing with state of mind only, in table C, then every single one of these entries should either be explaining when to or when not to write to state of mind. And from what I remember, even though I can't find it now, there were some entries that didn't even mention state of mind at all, even though they were like in some way conflating potentially with the state of mind entry. So in those examples, just make sure that in the do not write, like it's clearly saying like this is like conflating potentially with state of mind and don't write it there. Look through table C and see if you can point out what I'm talking about and then make that fix. Okay, what has it done? I see, I see. That's a better split. Okay, that's a better structure. So basically now it's saying this is the utterance. When it's this utterance, write to this branch of state of mind, and then do not write to these branches of state of mind, and then only in the case where you're not writing anywhere to state of mind will it, in the fourth section, explain where to route to. Okay, wherever this is relevant, like to maintain this type of structure across the different um, subtables, let's implement those changes. Do I need to reread through subtable C, or is it in a good spot and I can move on to D? Because I did already read C, and I think you made the changes for what I pointed out. So do I need to reread it, or can I just go on to D after you make these changes? Blah 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 blah. That can't be healthy. Death metal techno. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, let's go to D. So this is the mirror of C, but for state of body. So we can go through this pretty quick. It's looking good. I just. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, section D for what's included is very solid. Is this a fully encompassing suite of examples to account for the edge cases? Just make sure you check the North Star and make sure that this is descriptive enough to handle all the different cases that we've accounted for. State of body is relatively simple compared to state of mind, so it makes sense that it would be thinner. But yeah, just check and make sure. Holy shit. Remember, there should be no mention of North Star coverage or like any sort of author notes or whatever inside of this LLM prompt plan file because that won't mean anything to the LLM inside of the app. If you want to keep that context inside of the prompt because it's necessary to carry out functionality, just reword it in a way that doesn't mention things that won't make sense inside of the app. We made this kind of fix earlier. It's a similar kind of issue we already experienced. Use a different kick. Hmm. That's fucked up. I need to do 50 push-ups. Oh, good. One more Newton bomb in the bag. Add that to the counter. It's just pathetic. It's just, it's just pathetic. It's just pathetic. Okay, let's see what I added here. Use a different kick. Okay, let me just finish up D here. This will probably be the last thing I do here today. Okay, maybe I can do E as well. Let's see. I can't hear anything. Look, come here. Come.
It's too loud.
Come.
Are you still on stream?
Yeah, come. I'm gonna end it right now. Come.
All right.
Enter my world.
Of course you can hear something.
This way you go.
I can hear something, babe. You're overreacting.
Wait, put it on. I'm gonna go to the door and try to talk to you. Tell me if you can hear me. Okay, that's gonna be it for the after hours.